George Kilpatrick, Inspiration for the Nation, celebrating people we feel good about. June is Pride Month, and next week at the Inner Harbor is the Pride Festival and Parade. Among other things going on, Jimmy Monto is the are you vice president of development for CNY Pride? Is that what it is? I got it right? Yes. And also he is an elected official, recently elected to the Syracuse Common Council, re-elected, appointed, and then elected to the Syracuse Common Council. First openly gay person elected on this Common Council. How does it feel to have made history?
Humbling. I guess the best way I can put it. You know, George, it's I've had that question asked of me a lot. How does it feel? And I don't know that I have come up with the right answer for it. You know, I said today at another interview this morning, you know, it makes my mom proud. It makes my husband proud. I'm not yet proud. I'll be proud when I see what I do with the platform I've been given. When my voice has gotten a little bit louder. I stand up a little bit taller now. And I think that's not because I hold office, but it's because I'm the first one. And being able to point to myself and say to, you know, the younger generation, it is possible here. It's possible here. It's possible everywhere. It just takes us working together to get there.
And we should say openly gay, right? Because we don't know if somebody else has been on the council who has been gay and just didn't let us know, right? So This is what we're talking about, someone who came into the game. This is who I am, accept me for who I am. And what was that mean? In terms of you coming out to your family, how was that?
You know, I was fortunate. I've been fortunate. I had, I'm repeating myself from earlier today, but it's worth repeating. I had a supportive.
Well, let me say this. I wasn't there. So.
Good. That's right. But I had a supportive family structure. I had supportive friends. I have lived a life with that structure underneath me. I have, you know, my husband and I have been together for 22 years this coming October. That support structure has always been there. The safety net, the love has been there. I'm very fortunate. That is not the case for everybody.
That's the point I wanted to make. For a lot of children, a lot of young people who are identified on the queer spectrum, and queer is the word I can use. Okay, all right. And I asked that because, you know, some people like it, some people don't. But I wanted to make sure it was okay for the community that they don't have that support, and we see high rates of homelessness, high rates of suicide, as a matter of fact, in this community because of the lack of support for families. What do you want to say to families who have children who have identified themselves on the queer spectrum and have families who are not understanding or not supportive or who are Bible thumping at them? And I just want to say it that way.
Yeah.
For real.
You know, I always go first to the people that I have to thank, right? Because I think that's important. To the parents that are out there that are realizing, in many cases, it is a life or death situation. To the ones that are respecting that and embracing their child and trying to learn what it means to be in those formative years, you know, like I can't remember being 14. I have hazy memories of remembering that something was different. I wasn't straight. I knew that. I knew something was different. But I didn't reach out to my parents at that time. It took me years to get there. This generation, these days, at least it was trending, younger and younger people, kids saying, you know, I don't feel I'm the right gender, or I think I like boys, I like girls, whatever that may be. To the parents that are doing the right things and embracing them and loving their children, thank you, because you make the jobs of us so much easier. To the parents that don't understand it, the most that I can ask is try to understand that your child is at risk of harming themselves. Your child is at risk of disappearing, drug addiction, homelessness, all of the things that you said. The rates are staggering when it comes to queer youth falling off that ledge because there's not a support net underneath them saying, it's okay to be whoever you feel you need to be. And it's okay to explore who you need to be. And wherever you land, we're there to support you. And that's what you have to say. You don't have to embrace any sort of culture, but embrace your child. Embrace your child.
That's right. That's a good way to look at it. And love your child, right? That's your child, right? Love your child. And I know if some people, faith gets in the way of that. But also remember, depending upon your faith tradition, love is at the center of, at least from the Christian faith, right? We say that love is the answer, right?
And
So,
George, it's not just love your child, love your mother, love your father, love your brother, love your sister, because it's not just kids coming out. We
right,
have 55 and 56-year-old married men and women who have had families in the traditional sense where they've had 3 or 4 kids who are in college and they're coming out for the first time. And that has got to be terrifying, right?
mm,
So for everybody out there, love them, just love them. And, if we could just get there. Albert Einstein said love is the most powerful force
yes.
in the universe because it has no limits. And isn't that the truth? If we just could get there together, so much would go away.
Now I know I did see an interview with you earlier. I said I wasn't there, but I was there for some of it. And one of the things that pops up is where we are today, and we're lucky in some ways in New York State, right? But in other parts of the country, being LGBTQ is under attack, right? Especially for those who identify as trans. We're seeing in Florida and other states a lot of restrictions on this expression. What do you make of that, and what can the rest of us who are allies do?
Well, you use that word ally, and that's so fresh in the front of my mind because as I've been writing what I'm going to say places, I consider myself an ally at this part of my life. What I want to be is an ally, right? And I say that because I am not the number one target. I am a white male elected to public office. They're not coming for me first. They're coming for the ones that have the weakest voices. They're coming for the ones that are most likely to be easily targeted, and that is transgender youth. That is, you add to the LGBTQ spectrum. So if you're LGBTQ plus, and then you add to that, oh, you're also Black. Oh, wait a minute, you're also underprivileged and low income. Whoa, we can keep attacking and attacking and attacking, and they become defenseless. So you're watching state by state. Where are they going after? They're going after drag queens, and they see that as an easy target, right? Well, just wait. You'll see what we can do. You see transgender people because that's easy to demonize them. So when I say that I'm an ally at this point in my life, it's us. It's the people inside of my own community saying, we have it. We are more privileged. We have a bigger voice. We have to help everyone that they're going after because they're not coming for me specifically. So I need to help them.
Sure.
And if, we are a powerful force together. This community has always persevered, right? And we go back to that love word because we are always focused on the idea that what we're trying to accomplish is equality and equity and fairness and love. And those things, we lose some battles, but so far we have won the war. And, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. I'm more riled up now than I have been in all the years that I have been an out individual.
Mm. And you are gonna need the rest of us to stand with you.
100%. And I feel that way about every community under attack, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say infighting because that's probably too strong of a word, but when we don't have cohesion inside of groups that are marginalized, we see that the breakage causes us to lose power. I mean, I can use a great example. You watch voting. Watch what happens when suddenly Georgia, when Black women decide they're going to save Georgia
Right.
from Donald Trump, and they say, no, we are organizing. Everybody get up, and this is what we're doing. And the power in that, and forget the politics of it, forget whether it's Democrat or Republican, the power in that cohesion is tremendous.
Mm-hmm. Jimmy, obviously, when people see and hear this, the flag has been raised at City Hall, kicking off a week of programming. So let's beginning with starting Sunday the 4th, which is today. What do we have to look forward to this week?
So I guess I'll go quickly. So we raised the flag at the State Fair today and announced all the musical acts. And I'm actually Grand Marshal of the Fair at Pride this year, very unexpectedly. I did not know that. So I guess I'll plug the New York State Fair.
How did you not know?
I didn't know until they called me Saturday and announced it to me that I had been nominated, and whatever that process looked like, it doesn't matter. But that honor is tremendous, and they've worked very hard. The New York State Fair has worked very hard to become a very welcoming, very inclusive place, and they are truly allies. So from there, we go to Saturday morning. We will raise the flag at City Hall with a tremendous amount of diversity there that morning. The mayor will be there, myself.
Which already happened, so go ahead.
Oh, you're airing that, right? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
So that already happened. I forgot.
Yeah.
And then on the 10th, we will have our festival. The 9th, we have a kickoff party at the Aloft Hotel that evening, 6 to 10. On the 10th, the parade will start on Solar Street by Destiny USA. We will parade down into the Inner Harbor. The festival will go 11 o'clock until 5 p.m. We have a tremendous amount of support that day. We have over 100 businesses there vending, selling, their handmade items, their crafts, etc. Businesses, everything from, all of the hospitals, Micron, Amazon, Blue Cross Blue Shield. I could go on and on. The list is very impressive. Considering where we were just a few years ago, coming through COVID, a tremendous amount of support. On the CNY Pride website, you can find other dates for other items. The Syracuse Gay and Lesbian Chorus has 2 concerts on the 10th and the 11th, I believe. We go into the later part of the month. We have the Pride Night at the Mets Stadium.
It's 9th and the 10th, by the way. 9th and the 10th.
9th and the 10th for the gay.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Thank you. See, George,
I got you. Pride Night at the Mets, and that's going to be on the 29th, by the way.
Yes, 29th. And that's great. I've organized that the last few years, and that is a wonderful night. We partner with a group called Gorilla Gay Bar, which is Gorilla, Guerrilla. And that is a pop-up. Every month, they organize a different bar, which is not traditionally a LGBTQ bar, and we just pop up there, and we make it one for the night. And this community has been, wonderful with that program too. I did skip one. We have the interfaith service at Plymouth Congregational Church. That is the night of the 7th.
Right. 6th. I got you, Jimmy.
Is it the 6th?
Yes.
Oh, see, you just shouldn't have me on here.
No. And so I just want to. At least that's what it says here. It says
You're right.
The 6th.
You're right. I have to be somewhere the 7th for something else, but the 6th is the interfaith service.
Yeah.
And that is, I do want to really plug that. That is a beautiful night of, no matter what faith, no matter what you believe, no matter if you are, if you subscribe to an organized religion or if you don't, it is a night of just believing in each other, and it really is. It's something.
And the Plymouth Congregational Church is located at 232 East Onondaga Street, right downtown, right across the street from the Syracuse Marriott Hotel, across the street from the library, all of that, right there at that corner. A very, very, very critical church in so many movements, so open and so inclusive. Underground Railroad, other pieces. Just a quick little known history fact that when we first started Juneteenth back in 1988, Plymouth was one of the churches that we had our service, as a matter of fact, and also kicked off the parade from there. So very much appreciative of the work of that congregation. Jimmy, but the big weekend is next weekend, the 9th and the 10th. By the way, the 10th is my birthday. Thank you for that.
That's why we put it on the 10th for you, George.
Just for me. But Jimmy, I don't want to lose the fact that there might be somebody who watches this or who's listening to this, who's a parent and needs support. What are some of the ways that people can get that support in the community, or how does CNY Pride help to facilitate that support if their young person is questioning, or if they're non-binary and they're not sure if they fit into any box or whatever? What ways might they be able to get that support?
Yeah, I think the thing that I'm most proud of with CNY Pride, at least in my tenure with them, is that we are literally a click away. One click on our Facebook page, on our Instagram page, on our web page, a simple email saying, I need help with this. And that day or the next day, someone will answer you.
Sure.
We don't have all the answers. I am very careful to say I never want to speak for this entire community. I never want to say that I have all the answers or that any organization has all the answers. But what we do have is a network and resources to get somebody to the right place. And I am very cautious when speaking for this community as a whole, because this community, the intersectionality is tremendous. It's all over the place, right?
Hmm.
I don't know what the Black trans experience looks like. I don't know what it feels like to be a lesbian in a rural community. I've never lived that experience, and I could keep listing those examples. What I've experienced, I can speak about, but I certainly know enough people to point someone in the right direction. And we do that. My favorite part about CNY Pride is, and this is the truth, those random phone calls of someone that doesn't have anywhere else to turn. I had one 2 nights ago, and it just changed I woke up the next day feeling different. Like,
Hmm.
wow, how fortunate I am. This person had, been removed from his church, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I never asked for a name. We don't need all of that. You are free to talk to us in anonymity if you wish, but helping any parent, especially a parent trying to figure out how to navigate through that, um, is paramount.
Do you? What pressure do you feel to represent all of the community as the first in that role? Because there's, if those voices haven't been heard up to this point, there is this like, yo, Jimmy, we need you to do all other things that have not been done. So that's one part of the question, and then the second part of the question to consider this as well is how are we doing as a community, right? The context of that is that. So let me just start with what pressure do you feel, and then I'll follow up with how we're doing as a community, because I have something more to add to that, which would then confuse the first question.
Yeah. So I think that I feel today, especially because it's June 1st, and you probably know exactly what I mean by this. The first day of any month like this, suddenly it's boom. Everybody's website adds a rainbow.
Right,
Suddenly February 1st, oh, it's Black History Month. Boom,
right,
everybody's got a new logo, right? And it's not always it's not that it's not genuine. It is genuine in a lot of cases. People mean the best with that. But every month is Pride Month for me. So the pressure that I feel, the weight that I feel, a little bit of weight that I feel to speak for everybody, it's there, but I'm saying no.
mm-hmm.
I don't want to speak for everybody. What I
Mm-hmm.
do want to do is try to help those that don't have a voice speak for themselves. And,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel that way with every marginalized population. If we can, the voiceless need a voice. If I can do that, then I'm doing my job. I'm doing what I was meant to be doing, whether that's as a common counselor, as a human walking this planet, as just Jimmy Monto, living, then I'm doing my job.
And the follow up to that would be, how are we doing as a community? I come from a different community. I'm a New Yorker, and there's a lot more. How I put it, bigger cities seem to have a lot more. We good. Everybody hangs out. Everybody gets together. At least that's my perception. I still feel that we're still working towards that in Syracuse, whereas the community is still over there somewhere doing their thing, and we're not as well integrated across the board. So, is that my perception, or
No, I
is
think you answered the question without me having to say much,
okay?
right?
Okay,
You and I live in arguably one of the most segregated cities in the country, right?
right,
That's not an accident. That's by design. We didn't just wake up one morning and, all the Black and brown people moved over here, and
right,
that's
right.
by design. And that seeps into every other community.
Yeah, yeah.
When you look at the LGBTQIA plus community in Syracuse, we're very divided.
Mm,
And it is because we live in different neighborhoods, we frequent different businesses, we do different things. We're trying to get better about that. And
right,
it doesn't even matter if you're LGBTQ. We need to get better about that in general. If we
right,
start at the top of that and say, wait a minute, and I'm going off on a tangent here, but wait a minute, rip down that highway, let people walk into each other's neighborhoods, put businesses back where they used to be. Suddenly, like, there's a gay bar down the street in a place where there never was one. People move around a city, and a lot of it is cultural. Some of it we're not going to get past some of the cultural. It's
right.
just the way that it is, right? It's the way we've kind of We're tribal as humans.
Yeah. Well, I think what I heard you say, which was really powerful, is that we're not even connected in our community. And so now how do we do that across the community? Let's do some work in our own. I'm translating, or at least inferring, we've got some work to do within our own community as well to break down some of those barriers, because it's also affecting how we move as a community, as an LGBTQ community as well. So,
And I talk about this a lot. When you look at marginalized populations in Syracuse, especially, and you look at the concentration of poverty, inside those concentrations of poverty are gay people and LGBTQ people. And some of the activities that they would like to come to, they can't financially afford to go to those. So meeting people where they are with activities that are not $60 to get into, a show that the drinks are $12 a piece, right? That's the reality we live in. So we have to be thinking of things that meet people where they are. And that's not racial, it's socioeconomic. It's just the reality. And when you talk about New York City or larger cities like that, I think there's just more activity. There's a variety of activities. There's more people to organize them. There's more volunteers, but we're getting there. I'm not giving up, George. I'm persistent, if nothing else.
Well, it's Pride Month. The CNY Pride Festival kicks off this week and starts. It already started, but we have the interfaith service on Tuesday at the Plymouth Church. That'll be at 7:00, and then of course the Pride weekend. Again, let's be in chorus. The Pride Parade and Festival next Saturday at the Inner Harbor, and come one, come all. And that festival will be going from 12 to 5 p.m. And there's also some other stuff, Queer Comedy Queens at the Funny Bone as well, and Pride Night at the Met. So lots of good stuff. CNYPride.org if you want more information. And if you are a young person or a family member who needs support, you can do what to get, what do they email you? Or just click on the, go to the website, go to the Facebook page, click, DM them, they will respond to you. And they will make it
find
happen.
me, George. Honestly,
or find Jimmy.
Find me.
Jimmy, you can. Jimmy's out here.
I'm out
what
here.
He does. And Jimmy, good luck and
Thank you, sir.
Happy Pride Month to you. And thank you for joining us on the
Good
program.
to see you as always.
All right, you take care. Inspiration for the nation. Pride 2023.
Thanks, George.